Well, it looks like we're live, so we're gonna kind of go with that. Sorry, everyone. Lots of internet issues. I don't know if it's on our end or Facebook side, but we attempted to do a whole entire hardwire reset on everything. So, welcome if you're just joining us again. Apologies if you were wondering where we went. So, we are attempting to do this one more time. So we're going to do a gingerbread Christmas wreath using this We Wish You a Merry Christmas sign. This is from Craft Outlet. It is still available. I did check while we were waiting for things to come back up. And we are using a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. So again, welcome if this is your first time joining. Let us know, and also where you're joining us from. We'd like to welcome you. If you'd like to make this design once you have all your materials in, hi Kathy, just like hi again, I know. Thank you guys for being so patient when technology doesn't go as well as we'd like it to go. But click the share button if you want to have this video handy. Should you want to replicate it, it's usually the easiest and best way to do that. I'm going to show you how we're going to finish wiring together a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I'm going with a gingerbread theme because I feel, based on the sign, that it alludes to Christmas baking. So we're going to do gingerbread cookies and baking as our theme. So I'm using the colors, the beige, the red, and the white. Hi Dee, welcome. Okay, so we are going to wire this one together. So I've done the first 5, so we're just going to take our pipe cleaner in between each weld section. You having fun doing that? And we are going to wire together the 2 innermost rings. Hi Audrey, I know we need prayers that this just stays connected. So who knows, it could be Facebook up to something. We were getting all kinds of error messages saying you have to update your permissions. And then the Mevo wasn't recognizing that it was hooked up when it was powered up. So we just like unplugged everything, powered everything down, turned everything on. And so it's working. So that's how you troubleshoot in a technology challenged world. I guess power down and attempt to power up. So then you do the first 2, and then you're going to use that one and each weld mark to the outside to kind of find a midway point and create 2, wiring together the 2 outside ones, just like this. This gives you 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside for a grand total of 18. We are using this jute along with a metallic foil. It's a red, white, and a lime green. This is available at Craft Outlet as well. It does require you, however, to cut it with a wood burning tool because of the jute fibers. Those will not go through a wood burning tool. So these are going to be done in 20-inch pieces, really emphasizing, you know, like I said, this is more of a baking. So I didn't want to put too many colors in. I was thinking about adding curls of like green and white and red and adding those, but I was like, it's more about baking. It's more about the cookies. It's more about, you know, what people are putting together in the oven. So I just allowed Christmas colors to kind of accent it, but not necessarily be the theme for this. So we're going to follow this green lime foil right up the center. We're going to pull the mesh towards us in little small pleats. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to complete one section so you can see how they all lay together. I'm going to go ahead and do the outside one first. I generally, when I put my wreaths together, will always start on the inside. I don't know why, I just do. And then, so I want to show you how to complete a full section. So when you have your 2 outside pieces together, they do overlap to a certain degree, but this inside one also acts as a filler between the 2. So it really fills the space in the center, and it also fills the space between the 2 deco mesh pieces. So you're going to just kind of push that back, make sure it's centered. We're doing finished edges towards the inside. I'm just going to do 2 twists. We're going to take this, you're going to tuck it underneath that outside piece so that it can become that filler. And then I like to take the top center pipe cleaners and move those up. Melissa says, okay, you're gonna do my first craft show. How do you display your wreaths? So it depends on a lot of things. If you're doing an inside or an outside event, are you able to put up an easy up? The easiest thing that most wreath makers will use is the closet dividers. They'll usually go by 3 of those shelves, zip tie them together in a triangle, and then you can hang. It depends on how big your wreaths are. Sometimes you can only get 2 per side, which only gives you 6 for display. Or if you have fairly small items, you might be able to get up to 9. Also, if you have an easy up on the outside, you can get hangers and slide your wreaths through the back and actually hang those from the center section or the ends of your easy up. And that's a great way to display as well. So that is a section complete. I know nobody likes to sit here and watch you do this 18 different times, so I'm going to remove these 6 and we're going to use these ones to kind of tuck these into one that is already all the way finished except for those 3 pieces. Thanks, Steve. So this one is finished, so we're just going to do the last 6, or not the last 6, the last 3. I'm going to go ahead and plop this one right on the inside, and then this way we can move through this design a little bit more quick. So I am leaving the inside 6 on. I haven't decided if I need those or we're going to, you know, create embellishments or the sign's going to cover those. So when in doubt, it's always great just to leave them in. And I'm getting my pieces situated so that here's my middle, that's going up. This is now prepped for my outside piece.
Wow, it's really full.
It is very full.
Melissa, for pictures of the Easy Up, you can just Google, just stick on Easy Up pictures. They come in like 10 by 10, 8 by 8, 12 by 12. 10 by 10 is the most popular.
Yeah. They usually have them at your home improvement centers.
Yeah.
They're roughly about $99 for one of those.
Walmart usually carries them as well.
Yes. Okay, so we've just got one more piece to tuck inside. I'm going to borrow this from the one that we already used. So we're going to tuck this one in. It's always tough putting the last piece in, but it's going to go right inside, just like so. Okay, 2 twists. And now you can see how full that entire design turns out. So everything is nice and full, and then look how nice that sign, like, it kind of blends in with the cookie dough mix that's in here, and then you've got the red and the green on the borders of that mesh in the foils that are picking up those Christmas colors. So let's go ahead and add our bows to the, or our ribbons to the outside. So these are the outside 12 only. We are going to do these in a combination with Gingerbread Boys and Girls on 2.5-inch pieces, cut to 14 inches. And then the same, these are more along the lines of Christmas cookies and peppermints and candies on the white. Where did these come from? Let's see. Craft Outlet for both of the 2.5-inch pieces. Again, both cut to 14-inch pieces. We are just going to fold these in half, and I'm going to lay these in to decorate the outside. So these are going to go in really quick. It's easy if you position your pipe cleaners straight up and down so it's ready to receive that. I'm going to pop this inside, and we always pull those tails to the outside. It just makes, it draws the eye to the outside. These hopefully should go on pretty quick. Let's double check this. Hi Peggy, how are you? I hope you're feeling better. Peggy got stung by wasps, which are no fun.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So. Okay, straight up and down. Let's see if I can get this pulled up. See if I can get it going. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Looks like it'll let me. It just doesn't want to pull.
End of ribbon from curling up.
End of the ribbon from curling up. So
yeah,
like
this.
this.
You cut them like that.
It depends honestly on the strength of the wire that's used in the ribbon. If it's fairly thin, it's really hard. You could use some fabric. I don't know if E6000, it's more of an adhesive. You could use like a Mod Podge and anything that basically would make it stiff. But when you start to stiffen the ribbon, it starts to affect the ribbon. So then it starts to feel, you know, thick and hard instead of flexible.
They said 50 milligrams of Benadryl help today.
Yeah, that's.
I'll keep taking it a few more days. Yeah.
Poor thing.
This hurt.
See, like this one, this is just like a cloth material, so it doesn't have a, like, even though it's got a really thick wire on the outside, the minute I cut that, it kind of makes the ends a little wishy-washy. Ooh, there's a bee right there. Hey, Mr. B, we're really not making cookies. I know, he's just like, here, you want to take my whiskey sign and whisk him?
No, go ahead.
Okay. He was just like buzzing right around in here, and I was like, ew. Because I have the doors open. Because it gets pretty warm in the shop during the course of the day. So I open it, and then of course when you do that, everything in its from the outside can come inside. So I find that if I have really weak ribbon, finding a stiffer ribbon to either go underneath it or on top of it would really help kind of keep things.
I love that mesh.
Thanks, Richard. How are you?
Hey, so let's hope I never get stung by a bee.
Well, a bee is a one-time thing. Sadly, wasps can sting multiple times. Bees, they sting once and then they die. Okay. So if you are on YouTube, please feel free to comment. I know you can't read the comments that are happening in the Facebook Live, which is why we're trying to read them to you, so that any questions that you might have while watching, this replay of a Facebook Live earlier. Either you get those addressed or you can ask them. I will go back in and review them. I saw somebody posted, but I missed it.
Well, Richard said all the bugs, and he said he's doing good.
Oh, okay.
How are you two doing?
That was the comment I missed. All right, so I have a tendency of liking the green on the outside. So I'm taking all my green gingerbread people and allowing them to kind of overlap on top of the white. Now, the 1.5-inch ribbon that we're using is this red and white and tan diagonal. This is from Craft Outlet. And then this gingerbread on red is from Joann's. Both of the 1.5-inch are 19-inch pieces. We're going to do our half bows. We're going to take the red and white diagonal, and these are going on the gingerbread. So we're going to fold those over so that our dovetailed edges touch. We're going to pinch in about 2 inches from the top, meaning top of this, 2 inches. We're going to lay this right on the inside. And then I am going to remove the pipe cleaners as I'm going along.
Maria, the size of the wreath frame is 14 inches from Dollar Tree.
Hard to believe this is a Dollar Tree wreath frame, right? So we're going to always open this up. You have to right side one of your tails. And then I like to allow my gingerbread to kind of pop through the middle like that, so you can see both and still see all the mesh. So we're going to do this all the way around. Then we will prep our sign to get ready for placement, and then we'll make our bow. Who knows, maybe we'll make 2 bows. And then we'll add our embellishments.
2 bows?
2 bows? Yeah. It's time to do something different. So once you twist those, 4 or 5 times, just take that, tuck it behind, open up your loop, right side. It's always, for me, it's always going to be on the left-hand side. And then just let those kind of pop out. So we have lots of cookies. Love the gingerbread colors of the red. I hadn't made a gingerbread wreath this year, so that's why I was like, should I do a gingerbread bakery? And then I remembered I had this one sign left. This appeared in a couple kits that sold out quickly, so I figured.
Donna, the mesh are all cut. All 18 pieces are cut to 20 inches.
Whoop. Lift that one up. Get our gingerbread to pop in between. It's going to definitely be festive and fun. I love this ribbon that I got from Joann's. This was about 2 years ago with the little gingerbread men on it. I know a lot of you are missing the front facing, but for me, this just gives you, from a tutorial perspective, such a better view than you would get if you're watching me do this from the front. You wouldn't get an opportunity to view overhead. So we are still working on getting the best of both worlds, but that's going to take just a little bit. But hopefully we can kind of do both. Start from a front facing, then drop down for the tutorial part, then drop back up so you can see it on the door. Sadly, the door got damaged in the move, so we will be repainting the door this weekend. That one's there. Back to the gingerbread. You could, if you wanted to, utilize the ends of your pipe cleaners and add some white and red little scatters and fillers. That would be a really nice touch. I thought I'd cut that one. I was thinking about that, but I was like, no, because where my embellishments are, it would just hide that anyway. There we go. Tuck those in. So I did want to mention to you all that the private group is still currently open. Right now we're doing about 8 to 10 additional tutorials each month. Those take place on Mondays and Tuesdays. If you're ever unavailable to participate in those or catch those live, replays are always available for current members, as long as you remain a current member. Yes, Donna, they are 20 inches in length, the deco mesh. 18 pieces at 20 inches will completely use up an entire roll perfectly.
Yep. And our 2.5-inch tails are cut to 14 inches. And her 19 or her 1.5 inches is cut to 19 inches.
The regular crisscross. We did the crisscross ribbon last week. I'm not a big huge fan of it because I just like to finish things. And to me, it always makes it feel like it's unfinished. So we always have to end up feeling like we've got to put something in the middle.
Carol said, I love watching you make your wreaths. They're beautiful.
Thank you, Carol.
It's all about Christmas now.
Well, Christmas, and then so on Sunday, do you want to do a winter wreath, or would you rather do a snowman wreath? So one would be deer in pine trees, because it's very winter-esque, or would you rather do a whimsical, fun snowman wreath? Now is your time to give me your opinion. Well, it's like a poll, but not a poll, right? 2 more pieces after this, and then these will be done.
So write deer if you want to see a deer, or write snowman if you want to...
Donna said snowman.
Yep.
I mean, snowman, as long as you don't use a Merry Christmas sign in there, it could technically go as winter as well. Laura says she wants a deer.
Carol said snowman.
I saw Diane said snowman.
Charlotte said I do love snowman. Monica said snowman.
I see Sue says winter, but winter as in deer, not reindeer, deer, or snowman.
Rita said snowman. Diane said snowman. Audrey said pine and deer.
Okay.
Sue said winter.
I know.
Either one could be winter. Maria said snowman.
Anna said snowman. Sue says deer. I'm flipping.
Julie said snowman.
Okay.
Elaine said snowman. So far, I think it's...
It seems more
3-1
snowman.
Oh, Kathy Nonclared said deer. Sue Snyder said deer.
Okay. I say week one, and the following week the deer. Right? So that's probably how it's going to be, Maria, but it'll be, just because I found a really beautiful deer sign. And we have been seeing a lot of deer here on our property.
I really miss the plush deer that we used to get about 3 years ago.
I do have that deer head, but it's not along the lines of what you're thinking, though.
It's different than the original one.
Okay, so let's prep the sign. So because this is a plastic sign, you could opt to drill holes in the side, but when you do that, you always take a risk that you could crack the sign. So I am going to have my glue gun heated up. We're going to go ahead and attach it with 2 of the adhesive squares. So I'm going to peel these off. I am also going to add some hot glue to the top. I'm going to flip that over and place that right down in the center. And then I'm also going to lay a layer of glue, hot glue, around the outside. So here's that. Right about there. Okay, those are in. So I'm going to take, I have this on the highest setting for my glue. I'm going to lay a bead around the edge of my adhesive ties. That will secure this to the plastic sign. And the reason why I have it on high is Gorilla Glue's preference is if you want it to be extreme hot and cold, you get a dual temperature glue gun, you set it to high, you lay your glue on. It's going to take a little bit longer to dry than if it was on the lower setting, but it activates at what they call the extreme temperature, so that it should not pop off in the weather. So while that's drying, let's go ahead and start our bow. I'm going to move this to the side. And we are using all 1.5" ribbon for this one. Because I want it to be small and skinny with the sign that we have. So these are our ribbon choices. We have Peppermint Candies on white, which is from Craft Outlet. Here's our little gingerbread. Here is the gingerbread cookies, which we don't have on there yet. I don't know where this came from because it was, I think I got this from like a ribbon company like Perpetual Ribbons a long time ago, and they'll sell it to you just like this, not on the actual spool. We're going to add in a green and white Swiss dot. I have this tanned chocolate red and white. It looks like little quilted squares. And then we have this as well. And I'm looking at this, not thinking we have enough. Hey Steve, can you look through the ribbon and see if you can find another one of these? I'll have Steve work on that one. That's going to go a little bit more towards the middle. But I think on this one, I want to end it with the gingerbread. So let's look at it like so. Keeping in mind that I have Steve's ribbon, which should come, it might be in this tub right here too. It's not gonna, I don't think it'll be on the ribbon wall. It'll be in a bin, one of the Christmas tubs. So this, if you need it. So I'm thinking that'll kind of go in here, is the way I'm thinking. Or it could go in here. Maybe like that. It'll give Steve some more time. Or we can completely like not put that one in and just work a different one. So let's start with these 3. So I am going to do a little bit of a different formula. We're still going to dovetail the edges when we start. So it's going to be bring your wired edges together. That won't be Christmas. I don't think. That's every day. We're going to cut from the folded side to the outside. I'm still doing the same tail length measurement, so this will start at 10. It'll twist. That'll go in, up and around. We're going to do 5 inches because I always feel like if we do 5.5, it feels like it's too long and it starts to feel like it's wobbly. Oh, yay, you got some. Thank you so much. Did you find it in that one tub?
No, I found the other one.
The one I was telling you to look in?
Yeah, but the other one has 2.5 that's like that.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so he did find some. Yay! Okay, so right here, we are going to do this. Okay, this one's done. So that's done. Let's do our peppermint candy. This one's going to be 9.5 inches for our tail length, and it's also going to be a 5-inch loop. Because normally our first ribbon is always 5.5 inches. Oops. So let's go up and over. Now, because we've already got the first one done, we can just put our fingers in that and give it a tug so that both of those ribbon lengths will be exactly the same. Same thing here. Go ahead and feed that through. But we do still need to measure. We have a 9.5 inch tail. Dovetail the end, just like so.
Sean says, I love all those ribbons.
Aren't they
Lisa,
cute?
200 stars. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. So, stars, for those of you that are looking, we haven't started our stars, but those will go in October. All the money raised in October are going to be used for supporting a family during Thanksgiving. Because if we run it at the beginning of Thanksgiving through Thanksgiving, we won't quite get enough time. So, all the stars money that you guys support us with for the entire month of October are going to be used to adopt a family. Yes, Lisa. Lisa said, are those crickets I hear? The answer is yes. Yep.
One in particular.
He's probably just outside the shop door. So the stars are, each star is worth 1 cent. So if you send 100 stars, it's equivalent to $1. We will be taking all of that money and applying that towards supporting a family at Thanksgiving. So however much money we get, we will continue to, you know, if we can do 2 families, then that's great. It's basically to provide that Thanksgiving meal. Okay. This one is going to be a 9-inch tail and a 4.5-inch ribbon. There's that one. Alright, now we can go with Steve's ribbon that he brought back. Because obviously we know that is not enough on that original roll. That is actually only 19 inches, but it'd be nice to save it for another half bow if I needed that. We're going to make this one 8.5 inches for our tail length, and our loop length is going to be 4.5 inches as well.
Nicole said, hi, it's been so long since I've been able to watch you live. I missed you all.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back.
So because we have the 4.5 already done, we can do the same thing. Put your fingers in the top loops and pull. We'll do the same, up and around, and pull. Making sure we've got it at 8.5 inches for our tail length. Dovetail.
Can we get that ribbon anymore, that 1.5 inch?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. this is the one, this, we should have some. It's probably just tucked away in another box somewhere. Okay, so we said we're going to do the gingerbread on top. So we'll do the cookies here. One shy. This is very similar to the 2.5 inch we used at the bottom. This one's going to be an 8-inch tail with a 4-inch loop. So I don't mean just 4 inches all the way around. It just means from where you measure it on the end here. I want to make sure that the end of my loop doesn't go any farther than 4 inches. Basically, it's an 8-inch loop. Bring that in, and then make sure we're back out to 8. Dovetail. And then we do our gingerbread. Making sure, ooh, this is the upside down part, because you can feel the glitters on the top. Okay, the last one is 7.5 inches is your tail length, and our bow length is going to be 3.5 inches. So a little bit shorter. So we always measure, like any great recipe. It just makes for a really beautiful bow that's even all the way around. Because I can't eyeball and make sure that things are the same. That I would be off somewhere. Okay, let's get a red pipe cleaner for this one. I'll grab one of these, bend this around. We're going to pick up the entire stack, just like club sandwich. They're going to alternate your hands and get it to where you can see right through the bottom. You'll drop your pipe cleaner right inside, hold it to the bottom, and then just twist your stack. It's just so much easier in your hands that way. You can use floral wire, you can use zip ties, you can use whatever your preference is. Then I'm going to use my fluff board, which is a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of wood. I had a friend of mine design this. So I've had people ask, where'd you get it? It was custom made. But you can go to the hardware store and buy them in the lumber section. Home Depot and Lowe's have them. Not like this, they'll just be all pine. But they're already pre-done, and then you can just stain them or design, you know, put it, whatever design you want on it. It has a 1.5 to 2 inch metal screw. It's called a C-hook or a cup hook. And all that does is hold my ribbon so it doesn't slide off the board. So this allows me to pick this up, and I separate and then I fluff. So I'm separating loops from tails. So at the top of my stack, we've done that. The bottom of my stack, I'm going opposite. So I'm going to pull my loop here, and my tail is going to come out this way. That way they are completely opposite of each other on the board. And then each one we bring down, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring the loop to the right, tail to the left. We're going to bring the loop to the left and the tail to the right. So it's going to stagger the colors between our loops and tails each time we go down the stack. So here we're just following the quilted. So we're just separating that. Pull your loop and then your tail. Okay. Loop and tail opposite. match those up. So we have tail over here, loop over here. We're back to following the green. Okay. Here's our loop. Here's our tail, and then the little gingerbread guys on top are here and then here. So here's all the tails, just like that. Here's all the loops right in the center. We're going to start from the center and lift the top two. So just make sure you get your tails out of the way. Put your fingers in them and give them life. Remove, like where we've had them folded flat, just put your fingers in them and give them some life. Pull them around depending upon what colors. Like I like the green in between those. That looks really nice. So I'm going to do the same with this one. And then let's pull that around a little bit more. The green. Grab the bottom two. Do the same thing. Put your fingers in. Move them around so that the colors fall wherever you want them to.
Hope everyone on the path of Hurricane Ian stays safe.
Exactly.
Since moving up to North Carolina and Virginia tonight.
So is it a hurricane at this point, or has it turned into tropical storm?
No, they're still saying it's a hurricane.
Okay, so to put the arc back in our bow, we're going to go in and you're going to, like this one's upside down, you're going to run those between your fingers, just like that. See how it puts that nice little curl back in those? Just like that. It's a little harder to do the bottom ones because they're sitting so close to the board, but we can do them. And then you can just, you know, manipulate the ribbon however you want to where you have a bow that you're content with. You know, you like, are the colors laying where you want your colors to fall? You know, do you want to trim off any length of your ribbon? Maybe you want certain ones shorter than others, but I'm happy with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, opposite the same way we put that on. Move this out of the way. Grab our wreath and bring that back. And I'm actually going to go in and remove my interior 6 pipe cleaners, because we have our sign, we have a bow, so I think these are going to be right underneath both. So I'm just going to go in and remove them. I always say if you're not sure, leave them on to the end, and then you can remove them before you're going to put anything on top that would cover them up. Last one here. Okay. There we go. Our sign.
And said there's a Category 1 hurricane, just been called a tropical storm.
Okay.
With winds gusting up to 80 miles an hour.
Wow. Well, prayers to you that are impacted by that. Let's go ahead and add a pipe cleaner to our adhesive ties. So I'm just going to make sure that we have an equal amount to work with here. I always like to give them a twist so they don't pull out by mistake. There we go. 2 twists. We're going to go ahead and set this right in the center, just like so. So I'm going to try to follow my, there's another pipe cleaner I forgot. And it was beige, that's why I didn't see it. So I'm going to place this right where I removed that pipe cleaner, because I know it's situated right over the inside part of my frame.
Any good question? She said, where do you buy the cable mount from?
I get mine from Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
Lowe's carries them, but they're in much smaller packs and they have a tendency of running a little bit more on the expensive side. So if you go to Home Depot, you can buy them in white or black.
In fact, it's 100.
And you'll find them where the zip ties are. Yeah. So if you go into your Home Depot store, just go to where all the electrical stuff is. Charlotte said, never seen one of your wreaths I didn't fall in love with. I love doing the gingerbread ones. So this one's just a little bit of a different take on that one. So we've got our sign attached. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up so that our sign sits down a little bit. Not too much. I might even loosen that up a bit. It feels like it's just a touch too tight because it wants to pull way down.
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazons have a tendency of being a little too small, and I've actually had them come off, even though I've attached them inside the box. I've had a customer tell me that my pipe cleaner was still attached to the adhesive tie, but it had come loose from the box, which is a first for that. Right. So we're going to go ahead and take this one. We're going to add this right to the top of that wreath, right in the corner. So I'm just going to work my pipe cleaners down on the bottom. And then sometimes our outside ribbon tails get skewed a little bit. Okay, there's that one. Let's go ahead and make sure we have fluffs all the way through. Just like so. Like these ones. They have a tendency sometimes of getting ruffled up. Just like that. So we can still see our sign. Isn't that beautiful? But I feel like it needs another one. What do you guys think? Nobody has time to watch that, right? Well, I already made it. So I already knew that this one would look good if we attached a secondary bow. So I already did the bow for you. So that we could just add it. Because I was like, oh, it looks like it needs a bow. Like this one would look really cute if it had a double bow. So, because the sign's so small, it's only a 9-inch. So, let me try to get my pipe cleaner down through this. So I'm trying to find, so I'm dealing with thicker mesh right here. Let me make sure I've got both pipe cleaners. There we go. Pull that one down. More flies. And we're just going to angle these. I pulled this one on the bottom because I figured it would be like a really cute corner bow down here at the bottom. That would just really make that one sing. So we'd have a double bow, which we don't do very often. Right? So make sure those are all fanned out so we can see all those ribbon colors. Okay, let's embellish. So, because this has some peppermint, we are going to take a couple of these peppermint picks that you can get from Hobby Lobby. I like the little round pieces that are on here. We are just going to snip the wires off, twist the candy back through here. We are going to, this would have made a really nice easy dip for the glue skillet, but since
Dorothy asks, what are the loop sizes on your bow?
This one, there's 2 at 5, 2 at 4.5, 1 at 4, and 1 at 3.5. So I'm going to tuck that right in the center because it's right here on the peppermint. And then we're going to put a couple of these, oops, right underneath our little gingerbread guys. Let's see if we can cut these, make them a little shorter. So I'm just taking my glue and just wrapping it around and then dragging the tip of the glue around just to kind of hold all this. Oh no, we said here. Sorry. It's going under the gingerbread.
There's little surprises in there.
Little surprises everywhere. So we're just gonna stick those right underneath, right under the gingerbread. So right over here.
Was the second row the same size? What did you say it was?
2 at 5. So the first and second ribbon are both 5 inches, the loop size. Then it goes 2 at 4.5, 1 at 4, 1 at 3.5. The tail lengths start from 10 and go all the way down to 7.5, just taking a 1/2 inch off each time we add one. So 10, 9.5, 9, 8.5, 8, 7.5. And that's how you put that together for this recipe. So these are a really cute embellishment. These are 99 cents at Hobby Lobby. You get 6 different ones. So at 50% off, those are like 49 cents. And they make an adorable attachment to the wreath. Just always make sure you wind your wrappers back up because they have a tendency of coming loose. And I'm just taking them and tucking them right underneath each of the little gingerbread ribbon. We're going to get the ones that are under our loop as well, because it's always nice to discover hidden things. And then we'll tuck one into the top of this as well. There's that one. We need one in our top. So I'm going to cut this one down a little bit because it feels a little long. And I always start rolling my glue the same way that my paper is rolling. Just like so. And then we will tuck, that one's done. I think there's one under this one. Yes. Nope. Yes.
For those who would like to join Kat's private group, she is open and available.
Yes.
Just pinned the link.
Thank you. So if you guys are interested in joining, not only do you get 5 or 8 to 10, it depends on how the Fridays and Sundays work in the month. Not only do you get 2 extra tutorials, you have access to my entire library of tutorials that go all the way back to 2018. You get detailed materials lists for like this design and all of my public and private designs. You get discounts from some of the vendors we have contracts with to give you an extra special discount, like Kringle Designs, Jane's Front Door Decor, Three Birds Nest, Personalize It by Pam, and there's a couple more that I can't think of off the top of my head. I apologize about that. And then now, let's add the star of our wreaths, which are the little gingerbread men.
Plus, that helps support Cat as a small business.
Absolutely. So, these, I believe, came from Big Lots many, many years ago. So, we're just going to take a couple of them out. I'm taking the ones with the candy canes. And I'm going to remove their little hooks that are in here. We're gonna tuck a couple of these in. Let me move my mesh around a little bit so that we have nice little comfy homes for them. So this will be one. We'll add his somewhat twin down here to the bottom so that if they wanted to, technically I guess they would be whisking you a Merry Christmas. So I'm trying to tuck them in. So they're there. And when we're looking at a wreath that is done this way, we want to make sure that we remember that the wreath is going to be lifted up and flat. So like I can't do embellishments like this, straight up and down, because that's not going to make sense when you're looking at it flat on the door. So this little guy here is going to get loaded on the back with plenty of hot glue.
Rita said she bought a lot of them last year.
The gingerbread guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you remembered, if you're in my private group, I gave you tips on securing gingerbread that Hobby Lobby has available. So he is just going to get situated right there. This one at the top is going to be mostly his bottom half, but we'll make sure his upper half is covered as well. Always good to have more than enough than not enough. So those two little guys are in here. And this wreath, believe it or not, is available for sale on my website. Same pin that Steve pinned to the bottom. All you'll see is the sign because we hadn't designed the wreath yet. If you know me, you know I only do one. So this is a one and only, available for sale if you want to grab that. Otherwise, we are done with this design. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I guess we're doing a snowman on Sunday. So don't forget to come back and watch on Sunday as we put together a very whimsical snowman wreath at, it's 5 Pacific, I'm trying to think, 7 Central and 8 Eastern time. So I hope you guys will stay tuned and join me. Hopefully you guys like this design. And so I'm looking at Carol's thing. She says, how can I get the video to watch this on my iPhone?
On my iPad.
So just click share and share it to your page. Otherwise, you can, when this wreath goes to replay status right when we end, you can just go to my page and you can watch it. I will have it pinned to the top of the page. But if you click share, Carol, and just share it to your page, it should be there available to you once we finish this tutorial. All right, everyone, have an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.